What's up? My name is Hydra. I play, like demigod deity lobbies, at least in ranked in Smite 2. I was historically a grandmaster in Smite 1. I played anywhere from SCC to collegiate, just some random draft leagues and stuff like that as well. So I've been playing support for a very long time. It's my main role. So I wanted to, make some content to where I was able to kind of impart some of my opinions and some of my knowledge on why I think certain picks are good and why I think certain picks are like not as good as what you would think they are. So here on the screen so far, we have our tier list from last time. We already kind of made this tier list, during our last video. So you check out my last tier list for OB12 if you want to see some more in-depth reasoning of why I put these picks in these initial tiers. For this video, we're just going to be shuffling them around. It'll be a little bit quicker, but I'm going to talk through every single pick, if they're going to be moving or if they're going to be staying. So we're going to go probably like left to right, top to bottom, as best we can, kind of, doing that order. So to explain the tiers really quick, S tier, at least in my list, there's never more than 3 to 4 S tier characters for a specific role. I like to say that for the best of the best. This tier list is for ranked. It's not for competitive either. So for competitive, it's going to be a slightly different list as well. And also, player preference is going to be boosting these picks higher or lower. But S tier is typically you can pick this character or ban this character every single game. I think S means that they probably should be banned, especially in a ranked setting. If they get through, they're pretty much free SR for you. A tier is going to be good every single game, can be banned, very solid to be picked basically every single game, and you're going to be doing pretty solid on them. B tier is going to be pretty decent picks, but they're not like, they have some bad matchups. Like you can see a lot of success with these picks, and if you're, like a master of these picks, you're going to be doing really well, but overall, they just have some rough matchups. So yeah. C is going to be very situational to just poorly performing picks, in my opinion. Just things that you probably, like, if you're locking this in, you shouldn't be expecting to win in ranked. These picks are not going to be really contributing to your success from a support perspective. So yeah, and that's really the last tier. That's just going to be the last tier that we're going to really talk about. So going top down, let's start with the Ganesha. Ganesha, he's not going to be moving at all. He's going to be staying in S tier. He's a really good character with his aspect, obviously, but just, default kit Ganesha is going to be bringing a lot of value, a lot of anti-dive with that 2-second channeled silence with the prot, sharing he brings to, in an aura, 60 prots to his allies, 90 prots to himself. Has a really good knockup in his dash, a damage increase in his 1, and his ultimate, which can be dropped onto a backline or frontline, to help engage a fight. It has 50 flat pen on it, so it reduces protections by 50 flat. And there's not a lot of flat pen in the game. There's no flat pen on items or anything like that. So being able to stack that onto the people that you need to be killing, making your dive, a lot easier for you, and then just being able to affect the dive and then, kite backwards into your backline and basically shut down the enemy team's dive makes him a very versatile character, good into basically every team comp. There's no team comp that hates seeing Ganesha. He's really, really easy to play through. Next pick is going to be Aphrodite. I'm going to move her down to A tier. I think this character is still very, very strong, but I think she's getting kind of ran over. I think that there's a lot of really good picks that we're going to be moving up into that S tier that, handle her very well. They ended up answering her, or they just outperform her in what she's trying to do. But she is very, very safe, brings a decent bit of lane pressure, and neutralizes lane pressure into some higher pressure picks as well. Brings that sustain, and again, that CC immunity, damage immunity is going to be very, very valuable for most players. Next, we're going to talk about Achilles. Achilles is going to go down to B tier. He's just a warrior support. I was hopeful for, the buff, the buffs that he's been getting. I think he's fine. I think you can play it. And if you want to play it in like a rank setting, you can try to hard carry out of like support and as like a semi-solo laner. We've been in metas where that's been the case before. Also, I see my friends are booting up Peak and it makes me sad that I can't play with them right now. But yeah, Achilles is going to be a very, very good character to do that. You can max the... You can max the 3, you max the 2 afterwards. You'll be getting a very strong physical health shield, getting a lot of percentage prot increase. So I think he's overall like a really hard to kill frontliner. And obviously his execute, a 35% HP execute will always be finding value here. Always going to be able to kind of poke and, trade in lane and then, make somebody an execute target. He's a really good anti-support. If they lock in something like, a Cerberus, a Yimmer, a Sobek even, a Kabrakan, something that doesn't really get away from Achilles, doesn't really shut him down that well, you can end up just trying to play a game of killing the enemy support on cooldown. It makes your game a lot easier. Next is going to be Ares. Um, I'm tempted to move Ares up to S tier. I was tempted last time as well. I think for a rank setting, we're going to put Ares in S tier. This character just does a lot right now. He has a bad matchup into Ganesha, but I feel like every good support has a bad matchup into Ganesha. He brings a lot of lane pressure, a lot of lane clear, a lot of beads pressure. Obviously, with that ultimate, his chains are going to be doing insane damage. If you can't hit the chains, just go the aspect. You lose a lot of viability with this character. If you go the aspect, I don't think it's worth it. But if you're learning the character and you can't hit your chains in ranked, just walk up to people, hit the two, auto them, and then chain them. Like, genuinely, it's fine. This character brings a lot of draft versatility. Top picking this character, top 2ing this character means a lot of the cast really can be locked in, right? Kali has a really rough time playing into this character. Awilix has a rough time playing into this character. Aladdin has a rough time playing into this character. Just to name a couple. Susanoo, another one, has a rough time playing into this character. Hun Batz does not like playing into Ares either. If you guys know that, like, I'm just naming junglers, it's because I hate junglers, and Ares just makes junglers, job very, very difficult. Same thing with Ganesha. Same, like, they're both going to be good for that reason. They're going to be shutting down a large, portion of the cast. But Ares is going to be a lot more aggressive than your typical Ganesha picks. The only thing that I would say Ganesha is a little bit better than Ares is because Ganesha is, very, very flexible. Ares is very one-noted. You want to be engaging, pulling relics, trying to, run at the enemy. Whereas Ganesha, you can look to dive, you can semi-dive, you can team fight, or you can, drop your ultimate and peel back. Get them off your backliners. You have a lot more, at least in my opinion, a lot more options to, display counterplay on Ganesha than you do on Ares. But Ares in a rank setting, if you want to just run people down and literally kill them and win the game yourself, this is a very good character to do that with. So he's very, very good in a rank setting for sure. Next is going to be Cerberus. Cerberus is all right. With the amount of healing you're going to be seeing in ranked right now, I think he's very solid. But I don't think he's good every game, right? I think we're going to move him down to B tier. I think he struggles into a lot of matchups. Interrupting his breath is going to be basically making his aspect useless as well. But you don't want to be going the aspect because I think the utility on his ultimate it just kind of needs to be there. He has that prod shred as well on his breath. He has a really good stun. The stun's basically invincible now in Smite 2. They made it to where you just got to basically hit any part of the spit to stun anybody at this point. So if you like Cerberus, like, feel free to pick up the character. I don't think he's bad by any means. I just think a couple of these characters above him are definitely better. But yeah, definitely look to lock him in if you're gonna be playing into like Yemojas and Aphrodites and Guan Yus and stuff like that. Talking about Guan Yu coming up next, Guan Yu I think is gonna be making his way to that S tier. This character is stupid. So if you guys are going to be, kind of commenting down below, like, oh, like, what does Guan do? He doesn't peel, he doesn't do anything. This character makes your entire team unkillable. This character has a lot of great tools in his kit. I want to kind of go through them very quickly, one by one. He has a very low CD AoE heal. He uses Rod of Asclepius very well because he's able to heal multiple people at the same time. Yemoja can, heal multiple people at the same time. Aphrodite can heal one person at the same time, but he has a very short cooldown heal that's affecting several people at once. So his healing numbers are very, very high in that respect. His aspect makes it to where it's a heal over time as well as like a burst heal. It's very common for you to be like going Rod of Asclepius, full defense items after that, and still be healing 450-ish per ability casting. But yeah, he has a lot of healing viability with his first ability. His 2 is going to be reducing his own internal cooldowns, so you can dash through enemies and get your heal back. Spoiler alert: your heal also reduces your allies' cooldowns and your cooldowns as well. His 3, his Tallow Assault, is a really, really good prot shred. It can be like a flat 33, scales to around 50, so about the same as Ganesha Ultimate, with a little bit of intelligence. In your build. It's going to be very, very good for you. You don't need to channel the entire Tallow Assault to get that amount of prot shred. It's just going to be upping the duration if you're Tallow Assaulting people. And you can share those prots if you heal people. If you have the buff from your Tallow Assault on you can share your prots that way. His ultimate's going to be a really good chase tool, CC immunity tool, and a pretty good on-demand stun. You'll see me in my gameplay auto like just immediately canceling this Guan Yu ultimate just to like confirm a stun, or I'll slowly just walk next to somebody and keep slowing them gradually. if it's going to be a longer chase, and I need my team to catch up with them, right? So there's a lot of good, like, interesting ways that you can, end up using Guan Yu. Um, Definitely check him out. If you haven't played him, play him as a more like reserved backline. I'm gonna prot shred the person diving, and keep body blocking and spamming heals kind of support. He's not like a dive support. He's not gonna be like playing like that warrior. He's playing like a more backline character, at least in my experience, at least in my opinion. This character is very, very good. Definitely check him out if you're not used to him yet. Next, I want to talk about Sobek. Sobek is interesting. In ranked, he's probably S tier. Um, I don't like this character a lot, but in ranked, he just kind of frags people that don't know how to position. Um, his pluck is a very, very good CC. Obviously, he has that execute, so he will be able to confirm a lot of low HP targets. Be able to chase very, very well through walls and such like that. Player made walls, that is. Um, Again, very high pressure support, anti-heal built in as well. So, end up some picks like Aphrodite and Guan Yu and Yamoja, he's going to be seeing that, get that kind of value. Whereas Delvin, surely he's not in D. Listen, bro, maybe he's not. Got Yamoja down here though. Here's Delvin. But I'll move her up after we start talking about her. But yeah, no, it is what it is. Sobek, pretty good. The only thing that I don't like about this character, and like I'm kind of like iffy about putting him S tier, and I'm only gonna put him S tier just because I'm talking about ranked, is that when you pluck into like a coordinated team or like into better players, Yemo C tier, we'll talk about her in a second, I promise. But when you plug into a coordinated team, and this is, by the way, this is not for comp, this is just for ranked, by the way. But yeah, when you plug into a coordinated team, you just kind of die. But if you're like through most ranks in ranked, like up until like if you guys are like hitting masters, you can basically pluck on cooldown and not really worry about it. Once you start getting to like demigod, deity, like players, they'll learn how to punish a Sobek, and he gets a lot less viable in my opinion. We talked about Aphrodite, who moved her down. Yimmer's probably just a solid A tier. He has a wall. He outboxes ADCs very early. You can end up going like a tier 1 axe and then go like an actual build after. And you can turn that axe into like an avenging blade late. It's a very good angle for you. Very good angle shoot. But yeah, no, I mean, Yimmer's, he's just good. Like, he's literally always like all right. He has a rough matchup into Sobek. But he also has a pretty decent matchup into Sobek if you're good on Yimmer. You can like play to, let yourself get plucked, wall yourself, and then you've trapped the Sobek in, which is a pretty cool thing that you can do. Is it hard to do that? Yes, 100% if you're not used to doing that kind of stuff. But you can probably just lock in Yimmer throughout your, like if you're like learning support, picking up support, you can just lock in Yimmer and just walk at the enemy ADC, and 9 times out of 10 it will be fine. Let's see, we talked about Achilles, moved him down. Cerberus moved him down. Bellona, we're gonna talk about Bellona. She's probably staying in B tier. Bellona, with her new recent buffs, you can max the 3 in support, or you can max the 1, but you're probably just maxing the 3. Aerospo Bellona's probably just like fine. It's all right. You could probably like cheese out a couple wins with it. It's not going to be good every single game, but there's a lot of good auto attackers getting locked in right now. She's very good. Bellona, by the way, it's very good into Pele, very good into Mercury, very good into obviously ADCs, right? So these characters that like don't like seeing a Bellona, you could put her in the support role and just kind of play to be anti those characters that got locked in. So it's very doable for you. She does have some merit, but she's not going to be good every single game. Cabrakan is Cabrakan. I think he's a better solo laner than what he is as a support. But one thing that he does bring is a lot of lockdown. There's a lot of ADC matchups that don't like, seeing player-made walls, or, they don't like seeing double stuns or anything like that. Cabrakan has 2 stuns and player-made walls and slow immunity. So it is what it is. So I can win SR by playing Geb. We're moving Geb down, spoiler alert. But yeah. Cabrakan's pretty okay. You don't want to lock Cabrakan blind. But, oh, wait, did I forget Athena? I did leave off Athena. We'll go back to Athena. Thanks. Good shout, by the way. Appreciate you. But yeah, no, you don't want to like just lock in Cabrakan blind. You can, but you might have some bad games with it. If you can like see their backline that you're going to be able to run at, and if you can lock them down, I think you're going to have a phenomenal game. Spoiler alert, Cabrakan is very good in Tabari. you can just kind of run at Bari, kind of ruin her whole game. So if Bari for some reason ever gets through in your game and you're the support, you have to kind of deal with that. Kraken's a pretty good option for you. Fenrir, moving down to C tier, used to be what I would consider a pretty decent answer into Bari, but I feel like Fenrir just doesn't have a place in the game right now. You don't want to really be playing him in jungle. There's so many better junglers, right? One reason why you were locking in Fenrir in support was because he could flex to like two other roles really confidently. You're not locking him in solo anymore. You're not locking him in as a jungler. And most of the things that are getting played in dual lane just kind of farm him, so he's not even able to like out pressure the ADCs. And it's like you can't play this guy into Agni, you can't play this guy into Artemis, you can't play him into Apollo. Like there's so like he's good into Bari, but then most of the supports that you pair with Bari are also really good in Defender, right? So he just doesn't have the same spot that he had like 2 patches ago. So I think he just has to go down. Um, in a lower rank setting, like if people aren't buying tally beads, like just to punish you, then maybe you get some value just by going like full CD, full tank Fender, and you're just fetching people on cooldown. But against most players with the brain, they're going to go Talisman and Purification. They're going to go Stampede to outrun you. Scepter of Dominion's coming back in full force, so like you might get Dominioned or something. Um, Screeching Gargoyle might show up, or Ansel might show up to stop your Brutalize or something, right? So it's just really hard for Fender support to even play the game. I love this pick. It's one of my favorite picks to play, but it's just not very good anymore. We're gonna talk about Athena. Athena's probably B tier. Um, I really want to put it like I hate Athena, guys. You will never see me lock in Athena. Um, but this character has a lot of value in my opinion. Without Aspect, you're never playing Athena with Aspect. I don't think support's her best role. I know she's an air quotes guardian, but I think she's a more viable jungler. She's a more viable solo laner, especially solo laner for sure. I think she's actually a way better solo laner than she is a support. But her shield is going to be like, when you're ulting onto your teammates, you're giving them that movement speed, all those stats. You're going to be giving them a super fat shield, and that damage on landing is going to be super clutch, I think, for a lot of these supports. She's also very, very easy. So if you're in like a lower rank for, your rank games, up until I'd say Plat, Diamond, even low Obsidian, this character can just kind of get away with doing a whole lot of like whatever she wants. You taunt people in the late game. As long as your backliners or someone that's doing damage follows up off of your taunt, you'll be a very scary character in the late game. But as you climb the ranks and people are used to playing against Athena and lane pressure starts becoming more important, this pick's going to start falling off wildly. Geb. I want to talk about Geb. I guess Geb is fine. Crit's kind of falling out of meta, so like his anti-crit part of his passive's like whatever. Um, he has very low pressure in lane. He's just kind of like what you would imagine to be like air quotes true peel support. But he doesn't really stop a lot of things from happening to the backline. His shield is it's nice. I guess it's interesting. Um, yeah, I mean he's just kind of all right. He's very He's very okay. Um, I don't think I'd recommend playing him over a lot of characters, even in C tier. It's just like he's just generically better than most of the characters in C tier that I have right now. Like way less situational, but he's just like I feel like a lot of these characters in C tier, minus a couple of them, like they have higher highs, but they also have lower lows than Geb. I feel like he's like kind of like the definition of like a B tier character. He's pretty good sometimes, but I wouldn't prefer him. The Morgan. The Morgan, so this is going to be a caveat here. This Morgan, like if you are a good Morgan player, this character instantly shoots up into S tier. If you're a bad Morgan player, this character kind of shoots down into, C tier, like probably just shouldn't be looking at it. Going off the average, you should always be playing this character with the aspect. So if you haven't played this character with her aspect, get used to playing this character with the aspect before they rework it. It's super broken, super frustrating. Shout out Matharia. But if you are comfortable playing the Morgan, in my opinion, I think she's back. I think this character is super good, super valuable. With the amount of strong junglers that there are in the game right now, Hunbats, Susanoo, like Thor, other characters like Aladdin, Uller, with the amount of like really strong characters they're getting through picks and bans right now, having two of them on your team is just kind of crazy. She has a very good lane phase and from support. Can end up controlling an objective. very, very well as well in team fights. I probably will put a video out about her coming up soon to kind of show people how to play this character a little bit better. I love this character, played her a ton in Smite 1. Love the fact that she's actually very viable for support in Smite 2. This character is good. It takes some practice. If you're not practicing this character, she's going to look awful. But if you put in the time with this character, you try to make her work, I think she's going to be very, very good for you. Vulcan's fine. I talk about Vulcan just because he's a fun support pick. With his aspect, I believe. Going that thumper, getting as many mods as you can. I feel like Vulcan is just like you're just trying to shove pressure, and that's okay. I think I want to move him down though in terms of like viability. I feel like it's more fun than anything right now. I feel like last patch when we had less options, it was whatever. I will probably also put out a video about Vulcan support. It's kind of hard for me to like break down why this pick is like even a thing. It's very fun, and if you haven't tried it before, I completely recommend you guys try it out. Going to the pre-vetted C tier characters here. I guess we'll work our way backwards. Here we have Vulcan. Here we talked about Fenrir already. Let's talk about Yemoja. Yemoja is going to be B tier for ranks. This character is phenomenal. This character is very, very good. But trust me, I saw the comments. I put her in C tier last patch. Here's the thing: is that most people in your rank games up until Masters can't play this character. They don't know how to play her, right? This character isn't even like that difficult. She's like really deceptively hard. It's just that most people just don't play her right. So like if you're like a diamond player, if you're a plat player and you're a support player, you shouldn't be looking towards Yemoja. This is not a character that was meant for you. Like your teammates will not play around this character correctly. It's very likely that you as a support player will not play this character correctly. You probably won't build this character correctly. She just is very like she's a noob trap, if that makes sense. Like a lot of lower ranked players will try to lock her in and play her, and they'll be like, "Oh, I got like one good Yemoja ultimate. I'm a very good Yemoja." It's not going to be the case. This character is a lot better in a competitive setting, or if you're a higher level player. Like if it's going to be like someone above 5 KSR playing this character is easily S tier, easily phenomenal, right? But for the majority of ranked players, because less than 100 players, sorry, my fault, less than 180 players are above 5 KSR at any given time. So not the majority. For the majority of players, this character is very like wishy-washy, but I do think she's strong right now. I think she's stronger than most of the C tier cast, so I'm gonna go ahead and put her in B tier. If you guys want to go ahead and disagree with me in the comments and be like, no, Yemoja is fantastic in my gold rank games, then please feel free to let me know your opinion below. I'm going to hear you out. I'm still probably going to disagree with you, and that's okay. We can disagree. So, S tier in my hands? Exactly. Next is going to be Hercules. Hercules is a warrior. He just got a recent buff. The only reason I'm going to be talking about this pick is because, A, people asked me to talk about Hercules support, and it was a thing in Smite 1. So, Hercules, he has a pretty good displacement CC. He can kind of group the wave a little bit. Has that knock up, has that, pull. I guess he can kind of threaten beads in the early game, but he doesn't do a whole lot in the mid game, in my opinion. So I think his lane phase is also pretty weak compared to a lot of these good characters. He has a really bad matchup into Ganesha, Ares, Guan Yu, and Sobek. Doesn't have a great matchup into Aphrodite or Yimmer. Morgan outpokes him. Achilles outtrades him. Bellona can box him for days. Kabrakan locks him down. Even Geb just kind of sits there and watches him. And then Athena just stays neutral and pressure, and then ults somewhere else and gets more value. And let's not get started on what Yemoja does to him, right? Every character above him, she's going to be doing more to him and than him in every team fight and in any laning phase. So just if you want to play Hercules, let's say, if you want to play it for fun, feel free. But again, this C tier is what you should be locking in. Like, you're not expecting to win if you're locking in these picks. You're trying something. Maybe you're counter picking something, or you're just trying to have some fun. You're just trying to do something, trying to be different. If you want to be different, that's fine. But you really can't expect to get SR and be different. Odin. Odin is way less he's way less of a I'm trying to have fun kind of thing, and like people think I'm gonna go heavy CDR. I'm gonna have this amount of lockdown. I'm gonna use my cage on cooldown. Sorry, I had to cough. It's it's okay. If you want to play a support to force people to build shell, Yemoja's right there, and she has just as much poke, way more sustain. It is what it is, right? If you needed more walls or something, like this is still viable, I guess. Um, I just think he has a really weak laning phase. He has a pretty decently weak team fight in terms of like what he's doing as like from a support standpoint. He's just like you're putting him in the support role to basically be a second solo laner and like to try and like section people off. Um, you can play him in a way to like not put people in the cage, but you can play your cages to completely stop team fights and use them for block stacks. That's pretty decent. But even then, like I feel like you just want to be seeing different things out of your support. Khepri, man, I love Khepri. Everybody knows I love this character. I think I have like 130-ish stars on him in Smite 1. I'm getting my second star in Smite 2 on this character. This character is horse cheeks. This character is ass. The biggest thing is that it doesn't even feel good to be revived by Khepri right now. How many times can you say that you got Khepri revived and you're like, oh my god, it just saved the team fight? Like, oh my gosh, like I'm so safe now because I got revived by Khepri. It doesn't happen a ton. So at least to me, like this character is just kind of like it's not like he needs a buff or anything. It's really just like the itemization right now is just not really favoring him. A lot of like procs, a lot of tick damage, a lot of lockdown. It's just kind of what it is. There's not like a lot of like full commit burst is also getting played. You see that with Pele, but she can kill people through Khepri ult right now anyway because she has a lot of chase. Susano can full commit, but he also can just team fight very well as well, so he's not even good into that kind of case. There's no Cleanas, there's no Mamons, there's no Kamazotses that this guy kind of wants to get picked into. He does get picked into Kali and gets picked with Kali very often. So like it's not like he's unplayable. The character fundamentally like design wise is still fine. It's just like more characters above him just do way more. So I love this character. I would love to see him get played a little bit more. Maybe I'm being too harsh on the character just because I play him too much. I know all of his bad matchups. But I mean, and he has a lot of bad matchups, like especially like up here. Um, but yeah, best thing about Khepri is putting people's leaps on CD when you catch them midair. Yeah, that's pretty rough. Hades support. I guess I just opened up Hades abilities. Hades support. This is a pick that is only like really pickable into like low mobility duo lanes. I'm working on a build right now to see if we can do like a kind of Guan Yu style build. Guan Yu doesn't need a tank item for his first item. He's going right of his Sclavius. I'm trying to play around with that idea on Hades as well. I'll get back to you guys on that after I do a little bit of testing, but I think it might be fine. This character has a bunch of mitigation in his ultimate. He has a lot of ways to chase down a backliner that wants to get away from him. He has a lot of good ways to lock a lot of people down. So, and he also has some built-in lane sustain on his 3. Has a pretty good silence. It's going to be the longest silence in the game. He has the longest fear in the game. It's longer than Hun Bat's ult. So fun fact there. I don't think if you're playing Hades, you're not playing Hades to put him into support. He has tools to be a support, so I'm gonna give him a shout out here on the list. I think he's better than some of these C tier picks. Yeah, but we'll get back to Hades eventually. Where's Thor? I forgot about him. We'll talk about him in a little bit. Just Beat saw it. He wasn't happy. You see this tier I made for you, Nova? You see this whole tier here? Say hi to YouTube for me, King. Baron Samedi. We're almost at the bottom of the list, by the way. So Baron Samedi. Baron Samedi. This character this is without aspect because you're not playing Baron support with aspect, right? Baron without his aspect has no home in this game. So no Apollo, no Cubit. Okay, I will go back and I'll add these characters. Thank you for pointing them out, though. I did completely miss them. But Baron Samedi without aspect has no home in this game. Doesn't do enough damage. Doesn't have enough utility. Gets counterpicked by 12 different kinds of picks. Not even just in support, but in jungle, in ADC, in mid lane, right? Doesn't have a good time. Like this character just doesn't really do a lot from support. If you're locking in Baron Samedi, you're putting aspect on him and he's going to mid lane, or he's going to I guess he could go to solo lane and build full damage, but realistically he should just be a mid laner. Don't play Baron support. If you're locking this in support and your mid laner wanted it, you're griefing. Bacchus is interesting, right? Bacchus only really thrives in a meta where supports are able to threaten the backline with damage. And he is very, very good in metas like that. When Glad Shield was meta in Smite 1. When tank items were overtuned in Smite 2. And we had Hide of Nemean passive damage. And we were full proccing, 100% damage on ability to reflect. and you're able to completely out trade a backliner with a full defense build. Bacchus is great in metas like that. We're not in that kind of meta anymore. Tank items have been kind of gutted. You can look at like 80% of the tank items and be like, man, none of these really feel good. We're kind of in that state of Smite. So when Bacchus can't really even flop in and do something and get value, it feels pretty bad. He's not a really good setup support. He's a really good aggressive run you down, put this person to have HP, make the jungler's job even like easier by, cutting down the backline's health bar. He's a really good at that kind of style of play. He doesn't counter initiate very well. He needs to be ahead to, have a good performance. That's why I'm going to say like he's not even situationally great. If you're playing something to like get built in anti-heal, Sobek obviously is in the game, but if Sobek is banned, play Cerberus instead. Bacchus has the built-in anti-heal, but I'm not playing Bacchus into Yamoja or Aphrodite or Guan Yu because he loses all three of those matchups. Yeah, I feel like Khepri should be a bit higher. No, I mean I could see an argument for Khepri. Everyone knows again I'm a Khepri lover, but this character just has way too many bad matchups. Yeah, Ares again, Ganesha like 100% ban rate. Yeah, they're broken. So, and he's good into all-in junglers. He is, but he's bad into like everything else. Like he has a bad laning phase. He has a bad team fight stage if he's not ahead or even. He doesn't play well around objectives. It's really easy for majority of the picks in the game, especially all the ones above him in like B, A, and S tier, to get value. Just being picked in a Khepri. So his counters are banned. His counters are banned, but he has really bad matchups. He has a bad matchup into Afro, Yimmer, Mori, Achilles, Kabrakan, Yamoja, also being banned probably. But again, this I would say, and for everyone coming in here, this is literally just for rank though. Competitive is a little bit different. I think in comp you can definitely just like play Khepri, like if your team knows how to play around Khepri. Also want to add Aspect 1 is better in the solo also. Aspect 1 is shattered. And we need to remove it from the game. Not actually though, because I love it. Let's go back to some of the supports that I missed that I just completely forgot about. Apollo. Apollo is B tier. This character is getting a new skin next patch, so definitely try him out. He's okay. He has range poke, he has sustain, he has a good arrows bow build, but that's not really like that. You don't need to play him with arrows bow. He's very good lane pressure wise, very good rotation wise. He fights very well around objectives. His ultimate is a really good taxi. Obviously he uses Sunder very well. His 2 still gives a shield that also gives protections. That can't be slept on at all. So attack speed stim, attack speed steal. Very just useful overall. If you're a good Apollo support player, this character's going to look really good. He can just kind of like cheese out ranked wins if the enemy duo lane doesn't really know what to do against it. We're going to be really, really good. Cupid support, just because it got mentioned, I guess I'll put it in C tier. I don't really think you're locking in Cupid support anymore, because I don't think you're locking in Cupid aspect anymore, in my opinion, right? I think this aspect's kind of gotten hit a little bit too heavily kind of over the course of time. Yeah. Maybe just like a kind of buff to the healing or something would do it some good, but like it doesn't even out sustain like the best healers in the game. Afro out sustains it, Guan out sustains everything in the game. So like what value are you getting with this, right? Like, are we getting like just a big AoE cripple field? You get that on Cupid ADC anyway, right? So like there's no reason for you to force it into support. Thor. Thor's probably the best assassin support you can play right now. I would say it used to be Fender, but like now Fender's lost like all 3 like roles of viability. I don't think that character really does anything anymore. Thor's gonna be able to control a lane phase, poke very well, clear very well, team fight very well. Obviously with his ultimate, his aspect is very, very annoying. Gets lane pressure, fights over a neutral camp very good in the early to mid game. Late game can isolate very well with his wall double tap kind of combo. So like overall you can still kind of play him like as if he's like basically like a pseudo's like solo laner. And it's still viable. Let me think. Did I miss anything else? So Hunbat support too, don't forget. I mean, you could play stun bats, but like realistically, he's basically just a jungler. Aspect Hunbats, if you're putting Aspect Hunbats on your team, just guys, just put him in the jungle. Um, let's see. I know some people want me to talk about Hecate support. I think that character is just kind of dead in support. Yeah, just send a junk for free kills. Yeah, 100%. Um, let's see. Don't forget the Artemis support. I am forgetting Artemis support. I mean, yeah. I mean, realistically, I feel like, guys, Loki aspect support. Scylla support. Hey, okay, they are buffing Scylla aspect next patch. We'll probably talk about it then, actually. Um, but yeah, I think this is gonna be. I'm gonna kind of clip it and ship it here. This is gonna be our S tier: Ganesha, Ares, Guan Yu, Sobek. Really don't think you guys can really argue with that. I think in rank these characters are just like free SR. If they get through, then lock them in. A tier is gonna be just pretty like average, okay. You're probably good to play them every game. Aphrodite, Yimmer, the Morgan. If you have experience on playing the Morgan, you can probably play this every single game and have like great success. B tier is gonna be good most of the time, has some bad matchups, has some really good matchups. Yeah, probably need to see more of the drop before you lock them in. It's going to be Achilles, Cerberus, Bellona, Kabrakan, Geb, Athena, Yemoja, Apollo, and Thor, with the caveat to Yemoja being that you need to know how to play this character in ranked, and even then your ranked teammates need to know how to play around a Yemoja. So like I wouldn't really gravitate towards this pick, me personally, for ranked, but for competitive it's very different. But in like just specifically a rank setting, she's okay sometimes. C tier, don't expect to get SR with these characters: Bacchus, Baron Samedi, Hades, Kepri, Odin, Hercules, Fenrir, Vulcan, Cupid. I guess you could also do a stun bats as well. AGL raiding me, crazy. Especially when I'm about to end my stream. No, thank you, Albion Giants League, for the raid. Appreciate you all. And also hope the games were sick. But yeah, and then obviously the bottom tier, the best tier of the support tier list. If you want free SR before they nerf it, just everyone just play split push Don DeBurrow. Yeah, we need to get this nerfed. Pull up the tracker, the one. 1 second. It's just like look at his play. Like the most character, like, guys, he has 6 games on his next most played character. Like, here's a new game where he's just trying some stuff. It's just all Donza, man. Try out Ganesha aspect. Like, I'm not joking, guys. This is what obsession looks like. This is so funny. And it's the same build every game. Like, so if you guys are seeing these YouTube videos about Donza Burrow backdooring and split pushing, this guy's been on it. He's been doing this. I did it first. Weekend got clapped by me. It's true. This dude has split pushed his way to 5k SR. So if you want free SR and you want to just do it the most, free, autopilot way known to mankind. Look, he started off as an Artemis player, said he wasn't winning enough, and just started like crafting up Donza builds. When did you settle on this build? Literally, literally a month ago. Oh man. Horrid. Anyway. Oh man, that's gonna be the tier list, guys. I'll catch you guys all later on the YouTube side. So it streams out, we're gonna be here for a little bit longer here. But yeah, everyone on YouTube, peace out. Leave a comment below if you guys have any other questions about any kind of picks that we talked about here during the video today. And I'll catch you all next time. Peace out.